Kevin Stefanski talked about the struggles Deshaun Watson had in the passing game yesterday. He also talked about the way he made plays with his legs.
I think if you look at yesterday, Deshaun made a play on the first third down, scrambled and made a first down. He had made plays on design runs. He made plays, but just by carrying out his fakes. You're going to watch on some of those runs where him carrying out his fakes, a lot of the defense is aware of his ability with the ball in his hand. So that's a huge part of what we do, whether it's by design, whether it's off schedule, whether it's a third down scramble, whether it's a 1st and 10, quarterback designed run. All of that is part of who we are. I think the game and the different game plans and those type of things will determine how often that occurs. Yeah, I think the ball was heavy and wet. It was a constant mist. It was strange. Like I mentioned to you guys yesterday, I did not know it was going to rain. And then lo and behold, it's coming down in some weird sheets without raindrops. I don't know how to describe it. But it was to our advantage. We found a way to move the ball, put some points on the board. Our defense played really well, but it definitely had an impact on the passing game.
Yeah, and Scott, we talked a little about this before we hit the air. I watched that and I was concerned, and then you say, well, Joe Burrow's a pretty good passer. He had a lot of trouble. So I don't think you get a real good feel of where, an accurate feel of where Deshaun Watson is relative to throwing the ball.
I think that's fair to say, right? Some of those balls that he bounced in or that were low, you can blame those on the weather, and because we saw the ball not come out of Joe Burrow's hand like it normally does. My concern would be, there's one play I remember in particular where the footwork was just terrible. Like he had to move a little in the pocket, and like he didn't even set his feet, and the ball was, I don't know if it bounced or sailed, I can't remember, but it was a terrible throw, and he had a guy wide open over the middle, and the footwork was so bad. You need to be better. That needs to be cleaned up. The early shot downfield to Marquise Goodwin, maybe the weather was a factor, but it felt like Watson was late making that decision to go there, and Goodwin was open. He's running from left to right. He's wide open, and then the ball didn't get there in time. So, and then he missed Amari Cooper on the first drive, and it didn't feel like the weather was that bad. He just overshot him on a seam route. So, stuff that's not, it's not the end of the world, but things that I think he needs to be better at if they're going to consistently win, if they're going to win shootouts, right? If they ever get in a game where they need to score a bunch of points, you need your quarterback to be really effective. Those are things I think he needs to get sharper at. And the last thing is get rid of the ball sooner. And I know he makes a bunch of plays off schedule, and that's part of his game. But I felt like there were too many plays where he took hits that he didn't need to, and he could have just gotten rid of the ball. Somebody's open early, getting the ball underneath. Don't try to extend everything. Don't try to look deep too often. If you have a quick completion, and it feels like the play was set up for that, he would still hold the ball, and that just can create a lot of trouble.